Hey, it's Gabriel here and I welcome you to Word. If it's your first time ever, please do to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to also click on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload new video. At the end of this video, if you feel like this video was really interesting, please give it a thumbs up for YouTube to suggest it to a lot of other people who might need it. And you might have noticed this day that there are lots about USMLE on YouTube. I don't know if one of these days I'll be doing video about it, but I think it's already saturated and there's no need. Well, maybe if it will give me some watch hours. So today I'm just here to talk about the reason why a lot of medical students after medical school decide to go to the European countries or even US, because you need to write the licensing exams, that's the CLAB and the USMLE. So once again, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do it to subscribe. I think let's start with the video already. I know a lot of you people out there will be wondering, has Gabriel even worked at the hospital before? Definitely no, I'm not yet a doctor. But at the end of the day, I went to the internet to look for the reasons why people are actually heading towards America or even Europe. Well, you'll be surprised that I have about 11 reasons why, okay? So I'm just going to start about now with the good working conditions. Now, when you say conditions, it's about how your work is structured, how it's been done, and or whatever. Now, the majority of the people out there would love to work in a very good condition. No one would really want to go to work when it's very bad there, and psychologically you will not be stable to work or do whatever you would want to do at your workplace. And so that's why the majority would need a very good working condition. And as compared to where they are moving from, the good working condition has the advantage over where they are moving from, and so definitely people are moving towards those places. So that's one of the reasons why. Another reason is the marriage aspect, because people would always say that love conquers it all. So you'll be surprised that people have their loved ones in Europe, in America, and then they would end up wanting to marry them. And so before they do that, they would have to go there and they will have to move there. So at the end of the day, you realize that the working force will now be moving there. So there you have it. So that's another reason why a lot of people are heading towards the Europe, and especially the medical students. Is because of love, it's because they want to marry their loved ones, and so yeah. I know a lot of you guys out there will not be surprised by this one, because when we talk about development, America and the European countries are well developed, and so when we talk about their medical system, it's well developed and they have all that's necessary for you to take care of your patient. Well, not in every hospital though, but the bigger hospitals. And so each and everybody would want to move there to make his work very easier. I don't know, there are lots of medical students who watch my video. Everybody would wish that he would have at least an echography or ultrasound to diagnose his patient or her patient, which makes the diagnosis very easy. At the end of the day, where you are or where you had your medical education, if you are done with school and you have to work at the hospital and you don't have this apparatus, it becomes very difficult for one to work. It becomes very difficult for one to diagnose. And then at the end of the day, we lost. And so that's why the working force are actually moving towards where they would have comfortability in whatever they do. So you can see the reasons out there that the European countries, let me say the developed countries, are where the workforce is actually moving to. Adventure is actually not about going to the forest, okay? Adventure, you'll be surprised, is the reason why someone will leave his country after medical school and go to Europe or America, okay? They feel like they would have they kind of need a new challenge. They need to leave their comfort zone. Their everyday day-to-day activity is not challenging enough for them, and so they have to get new adventure. And so you'll be surprised, most of them after the American school, they will be like, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to US. Perhaps it's because of the pathological differences that we have in terms of the continental dispersion of diseases, okay? So someone will feel like, yeah, in my country I only treat cholera, I only treat malaria. I feel like I need to be cutting people up and fixing people up, people who have a tumor and all those other stuff. So that's the reason why you'll be surprised a lot of people leave their country to go to Europe or America. Well, this almost everybody knows about. The reason why people actually finish medical school and go to Europe or US is because they want to further their education, okay? They want to get into the residency program where they get to specialize in their field of their choice. So you'll be surprised a lot of people after medical school in their countries, leave their countries and head towards Europe and US just to further their education. Well, I understand them a bit, because in the countries in which they are moving from, you'll be surprised that they are the field in which they would love to specialize in is not actually available in their countries, and so they would have to move. And definitely before you practice in countries like the UK or the European countries and US, you will need to write their licenses exams. So you wouldn't be surprised if you find all these kind of things about USMLE Plab on YouTube. Yeah, it's because a lot of people want to specialize, and they would have to do that when they leave their country to Europe or US, because that's where they can find what they really want to specialize in. So yeah, that's one other reasons why people actually leave their country after medical school to go to Europe or US. There are people who are very curious and really want to explore and know more about everything they can think of. And so you will not be surprised someone would want to go to Europe because he just wants to explore Europe. He just wants to explore their system of working. He just wants to explore how their medical system is. And so that's another reason why people actually move from their countries to Europe or US, just to explore how their system is like. Even though I'm trying to talk about people moving from their country to the US or UK, you'll be surprised that there are a lot of people after medical school try to move to the US because of the time used to train specialists. Okay, now in a country like UK where specialization takes about 5 to 7 years, an individual over there will prefer to move to the US because the time used for training specialists over there is about 3 to 5 years. So you see the reason why a lot of people will move from their countries to other countries, apart from the fact that they are trying to seek for their specialization of their choice. People would also want to consider the time used for training the specialists. Work-life balance is actually an important factor to consider in terms of choosing your place of work, especially in the case of a medical doctor. Okay, because the medical doctor needs to clear his mind after working and before heading back to his workplace. Now, in a country I know, I wouldn't want to mention name, where the doctor-patient ratio is about 0.1 to 1,000 people. You can consider yourself working over there and you not having any life at all apart from you working each and every day and every night. So that's why a lot of people are heading towards Europe or US, because they feel like, the doctor-patient ratio over there is actually something they can juggle around when it comes to them working and then living their life. So you will not be surprised to find a lot of doctors who are also on YouTube these days because they have enough time for themselves to do a lot of other stuff. But in the country in which they are moving from and moving towards to, so the source country, then at the end of the day, they would have to sacrifice a lot. They would have to work day in and day out, okay, just to save a lot of patients. Because looking at the fact that a country, like I said, I know, which has the doctor-patient ratio of it being 0.1 to 1,000 people, how do you work over there comfortably and balance life and then work? It's very difficult in such situation. So definitely the individual would wish to move to Europe or US. Facility is one of the reasons why a lot of medical students after medical school leave their country and move to US or even the European countries. Now, facility, one may say, is anything that facilitates or make work easier and faster, just like a machine. Machine is anything that makes work easier and faster, right? Now, when I'm talking about machine, I'm talking about the sonography, the MRI, the CT scan, anything at all that makes work easier in terms of medicine. Now, in a country I know where they have about 3 MRI, working over there becomes very difficult because you would have to transfer or refer your patient from one point to another. Now, before your patient even get to where the MRI is, the patient might even need a lot of transportations. The patient might take days or hours. And by that time, there are a lot of damages done already. That's why it's very important to have these tools available in every department for work to be easier. Now, if you are a stakeholder, you realize that there are a lot of your professional workers are leaving your country, or even if your taxpayers are complaining about the people they are paying tax for to school are leaving their country after schooling, then you should know that you might be lacking something in the system. One of them might be the facility, and so they move towards countries where there are these facilities that make work easier and faster. So in a country where the MRI is all over, you get to actually follow up on your patient when your patient is going for the MRI. So it takes very little time for your patient to get this MRI before more harm will be done. And so it's very important to consider this if you're a stakeholder in your country where you realize that there are a lot of the professional health workers leaving the country. Then you should know that one of the reasons why that might be happening is actually lack of facilities. So there you have it. So that's another reason why a lot of people leave their country and head towards US or even the European countries. I know people would have even unsubscribed to my channel if I had not mentioned this. money. I know a lot of people try to be like, okay, I'm not going to Europe for money, I'm not going to US for money, but honestly, the main agenda of going to UK or US is for the money, honestly speaking. People will not talk about it because they feel like people would judge them wrongly or whatever. But the honest truth is that money is happiness. Money actually makes working very comfortable. With money you can live comfortably and everything moves on smoothly. So why not move in for the money? So there are lots of people who are actually leaving their countries to the developed countries because they are being paid very well over there, and it's just all about the money. Okay, so at the end of the day, a country like Luxembourg, where doctors are, that's the country in which doctors are highly paid, you get it? So people actually move there to work there just to earn the money, because at the end of the day we are just doing the same thing. And trust me, in a country where you have about 3 MRIs, where you have to work very, very hard, you have to work very hard. You have about 0.1 to 1,000 patients to work with. It becomes very difficult. At the end of the day, your fellow somewhere or elsewhere is just working 2 times in a week and earn more than you. It becomes very difficult. So you, at the end of the day, move over there, and so you gain the same money as that individual of yours. So even people are leaving the European countries to US because they are paid very well in the US. So you can see the reason why people are actually moving from their countries to UK or France or Poland, Switzerland, or where have you, and even the US. So it's very necessary to follow the money. Honestly, at this point I don't know what to say, but it's very necessary to follow the money, because money is just happiness. Money is it. I know people will not want to talk about it, but it's really necessary to know how much you earn, because your salary is very important when you are considering working in a particular institution. It's a general thing, but people would not want to talk about it. But that is what it is. It is what it is, and so I just have to tell the whole truth. So money is another important reason why people leave their country and head to US or even the European countries to work after medical school. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate your support. If you're a returning subscriber, if you are new here, please do to smash on that subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a video. It's just like a song now, but I really mean it. I mean it. Please hit on that subscribe button. If it is red, hit on it. It will turn gray for you to subscribe. And also, I would need your comment in the comment section. Tell me other reasons why people are actually leaving their countries to US or even the European countries after medical school. Just mention it over there for people to know about. It's really important. And also, if you find this video very interesting, just give me that like button. Smash on the like button for people to also know about it. And not knowing what to do after medical school, you don't know if you should also go to the European countries or go to the US. Click on this video, because it will be very helpful to know what to do after medical school. Thank you very much once again for sticking around, and this has been it. See you guys in the next one.